Hello again. I'm Timmie,
And I'm Jeanette.
and we are two friends and an owl. So we meet weekly, and actually we've been doing this for a long time. Every time we get together, we just elevate our brains by having conversations, and we go home going, "Wow." So we wanted to start sharing our conversations and hopefully elevate your life as well. So welcome, and Jeanette's turn to pick a topic. This is my little thing I get to play with.
Yes. To take the stress away.
No stress, just fun.
Oh, this one's interesting. You're gonna have to kick this one off. Okay, tuning our antenna.
Okay. I'm gonna have to kick it off.
I'm trying to think of.
Okay. Do you want to pick a different card right now, or are you good with that one? Tuning our antenna.
What does that
It
look
kind
like
of
for you?
it kind of fits with what station am I listening to or connected to energetically, and what volume am I listening at. So when I hear tuning your antenna, not knowing what you meant, tuning your antenna is, what do I want to be focused on? What do really I picture back in the days? There are some of you who do not know this, but back in the days we had antennas with tinfoil on it, and we had to move it and hold it just right in order to get a clear picture. So tuning your antenna can be a couple different ways. What do I want to be? What energy do I want to be in? I will have to tune into that. What direction do I want to be moving? And if that's the case, what does it look like? So what do I want to tune into? I don't know. Those are the things that pop up when I hear tuning.
Also, what comes up for me is the idea of static.
Oh, yeah. Instead of tuning, there's static.
Yeah, well, and instead of intentionally tuning to a specific frequency, it's also just as valuable to allow the static to release, like releasing the static. So sometimes it's about clearing the reception versus let me choose the direction that I'm heading, because sometimes it goes back to that efforting and forcing. Sometimes we have so much static that no matter where we aim the antenna, we can't quite get there. So it also reminds me of clearing the space sometimes without intention, without an intention for a specific direction, but just to clear the air. Let's clear the air first. And then whatever I point at seems to me that whatever I then choose to tune my antenna to would be clear reception.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes to mind as well. I think it's incredibly valuable to think of ourselves as an antenna, in the sense of there's so much, especially from a quantum physics point of view, there's so much information now around everything being vibrational and energetic. And I think that sometimes that idea can feel a little unapproachable, just sometimes people, and including myself, sometimes I can't quite get the feel of what that is. But when I think of the antenna, I have a clearer idea of what it is to purposely aim my life in a way, instead of being something materialistic,
Right.
and physical.
It's the intangibles.
Yes.
Yeah.
More like the energy and the vibrational frequency. The antenna kind of clears that up for me a little bit. And I guess that's probably what I was thinking about.
Talk more about that. The intangibles and.
Well, there's so much talk about law of attraction.
Right.
And in the law of attraction arena, People are, it's about money, and it's about what success, and it's about there's these specific material things that people are reaching for, and the law of attraction really push that into
Mm-hmm.
high gear. You can have whatever you want, so think about the car,
Mm-hmm.
think about the job, think about the guy, the girl, whatever. Think about everything in such a specific term that I think so many people kind of lost their ability to really connect with it. Because if I'm thinking of a specific car, and I'm not manifesting it, then you just decide the law of attraction doesn't work. And it does, but it doesn't in the way that they kind of pushed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way that they did it, because they the idea of it, we could understand.
Mm-hmm.
If they had come in right away and started talking about vibration and frequency, we all would have went,
It was
what
a
are you talking?
it
It
was
would be a foreign language.
it was an introductory language for sure.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
So they kicked us off with this idea and made it in this fashion that we would understand.
Right.
But now we have the understanding that there's more, not more to it, but there's a layer to it that they kind of couldn't speak about then, because we wouldn't have understood it. Now we can say, okay, it's about the vibration and the frequency. And now that needs a visual, it needs an image. And that's where I think the antenna kind of comes into play for me.
What kind of what I'm hearing is, okay, the static is really the things.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Exactly.
it's the car, it's the
materialistic.
relationship, it's the weight loss, 100 and whatever pounds, it's the home. That's the static. And when it's the antenna is tuned in, it's the energy behind those
Right.
that clears up, almost like clouds clearing away. And that's what we want to be tuned to. And that's the antenna that, with the part of the law of attraction, that will really get us what we truly want.
Right.
Not those things, which is just static.
Right. Yeah, because
Okay.
all of those things to me are attached to almost resistance to life as it is,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
you can't get something through resistance. I mean, you can, but like we said before, it won't feel good even if you do get it. If you go there in resistance, it's not going to be the manifestation and the fulfillment of the manifestation that you're really searching for. So yeah, when we get our brains so focused on the what, the specific item, we really kind of almost work against ourselves. There's a lack, we've experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Lack is the first thing that shows up. I want that car. Well, by you saying that, it lets you know in every way energetically you don't have that car. That's
Right.
why you want it.
Right.
So how do we then start to bridge that gap? And I think from an antenna perspective, um, I guess for me, I mean, I can do it in meditation. I can do it in ways when I'm quiet with myself, as far as just tuning into a feeling. Joe Dispenza's work, all those guys work in that field where they're saying, train your body to feel things
Mm-hmm.
without needing a
Mm-hmm.
physical tangible item in your hand to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it, on the other side of this, when I first started, into that information, that was really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
How do you train your body to feel things you don't remember ever feeling before? you know so tuning the antenna is just kind of I guess it's just kind of a way for me to verbalize what I want to do or what I'm trying to experience.
Yeah, the experience rather than the goal.
Right.
There's an exercise called, I think it's called 5 levels of why or 7 levels of why. So if you say you want something, like say you want the car. Well, I want the car. Why do you want the car? Well, I want it because it will get me around. Why do you want that? Why do you want that? And a lot of times when you get to the, sometimes I just do I've gotten, when I've gotten down that far, but I just want it. But it's more the experience or the emotional that I really wanted, not the thing itself.
And a lot of times it's not even the thing or that. It's more like because I will feel safe when,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
That's why do you want it? Because I will
Yeah.
feel safe.
But that underlying foundational need can mess up every other layer of manifestation if we're not
Addressing
aware
it.
of this bottom
Yeah,
line weight.
yeah.
The whole thing in our experience, and so much of that ends up being the case.
Hmm.
Why do you want a relationship? Well, because I'll feel loved. Sometimes it's these baseline because I want to feel loved.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with having that desire
Yeah.
at all.
Yep.
But how many of us are actually going there
Hmm.
and saying, in in my daily life, I don't feel loved and I just want to feel loved.
What's crazy about that is the whole antenna idea, tuning your antenna, is I want to feel loved. Where if you were to say, so you want to feel loved, that you can work with.
Right.
How can I love myself? But if you go out and get that relationship, does that mean you feel loved? No.
No. And generally it'll do just the opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
So it's like you're fine tuning. That's what you really want is I want to feel loved. This is just an example, but I want to feel loved. But all the other stuff was the static.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now about the static.
Yeah, but those baseline needs that we want to get met, if we don't really drop down into that, we're going to constantly be searching for the next thing that's going to make us feel better. I
Mhm.
just need this because it's going to make me feel better. And as soon as you get that, you realize, oh, I
I
have the
don't
next
feel
need.
better.
Right. Now I need something else.
Mhm.
And how many times, you get a new car and it's great for five days, maybe 7, and then all of a sudden you're back to wanting just other things. And then people feel incredibly dissatisfied and very unsure of how to move forward from there and stop that cycle. That's a cycle that people fall into and can fall into for their entire lifetime and never stop the flow of just that. And to me, that's that where fine tuning with the antenna.
Mhm.
First of all, where is my, what the stereo? Where am I here first? And then I can clear up that static and actually reach for the tuning of it.
Mhm.
I want to feel loved. How many ways could you feel love without needing a relationship to get there?
Mhm.
We can find friendships, we can find coworkers. So often, the problem with not feeling loved is that lack of intimacy. I have no idea how to create intimacy, and I'm terrified of creating intimacy in my close friendships, in my work relationships. I'm terrified. Well, get a relationship then, because I guarantee you that's going to knock your socks off in exactly the opposite fashion, you know? So being able to fine tune that antenna into, okay, wait, I want to feel loved and I'm going to create that experience. That's very different
Mhm.
than here, let me go grab this thing
Mhm.
and try to shove it in the hole, you know?
Mhm.
So that's what it is for me.
Just processing. So like tuning your antenna is I don't know. I'm gonna process on this one because I still
Yeah.
have more thoughts about it.
To me, the tuning your antenna is bring it back to me. First of all, I can
Yes.
tune my antenna when I bring it back to me. What am I feeling the need for? But go to those baselines of it's not a new car. It's a feeling of comfort, it's a feeling of safety, or
Mhm.
whatever is below that, kind of like you said, why. Um, Definitely getting back to the basis of it's inside of me. It's not inside of an object, it's inside of me. And once I am clear about that, the antenna kind of tunes itself. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
do. I do. I love the idea of the now I'm seeing it as the static is all the stuff that's outside,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff. And tuning your antenna is really, once again, what we talk about so often is it's an inside job.
Right.
It's
Right.
an inside job. Let me go back, and not selfishly. It's just how to truly, it would be like a how-to book, how to truly live your life and live your life successfully is go back inside
Right.
and check in, and what does this inside here need? What do I need? What does my inner child, what does my inner adult need? What do I want? What That's where all of our outside wants is just a just an outer manifestation of really what's going on inside of us.
Right.
I want this. Why do I want this? Why? And it comes back to I want to feel safe. I want to feel free. I want to feel relaxed. I want to feel it, just back to the self, back
Right.
to the self. So tuning the antenna is really coming back to the self.
And it's interesting when you said that, I realized, if you think about your inner child lives in there
Yes.
and needs nothing. I mean, as far as external, there's no car,
Nothing
there's
external.
no, yes,
Yes.
there's no house, there's no nothing. So your inner child's needs will never be anything other than feeling,
Feel safe,
a
feel
feeling,
loved, feel
right?
cared for, feel enough.
Adequate.
And why do we want all those things? Is to feel what the inner
Okay.
child wants.
Yeah, we just want to feel okay.
Yeah.
We want to know that we're just okay as we are, and not because we're positive or kind or considerate, or we just want to be okay. We want to feel okay
Right.
as we are in every moment, because in every moment we're going to feel a little different.
Right.
So the antenna, maybe tuning the antenna is we're tuning into our inner child's needs
Mm-hmm.
and saying, oh, okay, now I'm the adult out here and I can fulfill that need.
Yeah.
Because if my inner child needs to feel safe, I can fulfill that need right now. I don't need anything else. I don't need
Yeah.
an
In this
external
very
money.
moment,
Yes, in this
I
moment.
have everything to take care
Right.
of that need.
Right. If it's living in there and nothing's harming it already, or so far, I can take care of the need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe tuning the antenna is tuning to the inner child.
Very interesting.
That is very interesting. I did not expect that to be.
That's what's so fun about these.
Why we have these conversations.
I love it. I love it. We thought we were going to talk about one thing, and again,
I
it went
know.
right back to an inside job. Let's take care of our inner child and give our man. What a different world this would be if we took care of our inner child's needs.
Yes.
If that's something we were taught in school from the very beginning, is no matter what, take care of your inner child's needs.
Yes.
And you have everything you need to give that inner child what it needs.
Right.
Interesting.
That is super interesting.
You feel good?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully your lives have been elevated a little bit by our quirkiness. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.